Here we go. Remember last week when I said voice 8 times in one 5-minute video? That was annoying. I once again have no idea what I want to talk about. Should I have thought this out more before getting on this? Yes. Should I have written something down to kind of read off of? Yes. Should I have maybe eaten breakfast and not stayed up all night not thinking about this? Yes. But here we are again. Yes. We're gonna hang out today and we're gonna talk about plants. Let's talk about plants. I'm a person that does very well with plants. When I was 11 years old, I picked up an asparagus fern from the store. And this asparagus fern was maybe 2 inches tall. So I brought it home. It was $3. And a weekend, one of the branches fell off. One of the stem branch things fell off. And interestingly enough, I believe those stem branch things are also part of the leaves. There's the leaf bit, but then the stem bit is still considered the leaf, I think. Don't quote me on that. I looked that up maybe 4 years ago, so it's probably completely wrong. Anyway, it broke off, and I remember being so devastated. And I got some cellophane tape and I taped it back together. Later on, I learned that that is actually something that people do, and it's called grafting. But at the time, I had no idea what I was doing. I just remember being distraught, and I remember just really hoping I didn't kill my first plant. Fast forward a while until I moved out at 18, and I still had this asparagus fern, and it had grown. It was maybe 3 feet long. It was getting kind of beefy, and he got his name Mr. Fitzgerald. Mr. Fitzgerald was interesting, and his namesake is interesting. In high school, I believe senior year, we had to read The Great Gatsby, and I read like 3 pages before I got so frustrated with the book that I chucked it across my room, rolled over on my bed, and cried pathetically before just going to the library, getting an audiobook of it, and also not listening to it. I got a D on that paper. The D was deserved because I just didn't do the homework. And at the end of the semester, we had to turn in the Great Gatsby books that we had been loaned out from the school. And I could not find my copy to save my life. It was nowhere. I tore that room apart. I opened up boxes that had been packed for when I moved out. I was just a tornado of frantic finding because I did not want to buy this damn book that I didn't read. Damn it! I had to buy the book. I couldn't find it. It was really frustrating. And finally it was moving day, and Mr. Fitzgerald, the plant, fell from my arms in his ceramic pot and broke. The pot broke. And lo and behold, inside of the pot was a very dingy looking pile of papers. I dig it out, and it's the fucking Great Gatsby. I have no idea how it landed in that pot, how it fell into it far enough that I didn't notice it when I put extra dirt on top of that plant later on. I don't know. I gladly recycled the book because I was bitter at this point, but my fern got a new name. And I had Mr. Fitzgerald until 2019. And in 2019, he had grown. He had turned into a monster. He was a fern, so he was growing like 1/2-inch long thorns, like rose thorn type things on his stem leaf things, whatever. At this point, he was 14 feet long. He was my baby that was going to take over the world. Unfortunately, at this time, in 2019, I had to pick everything up again and move halfway across the United States, and bringing along my 14-foot long fern with 1/2-inch long spikes was not going to fit in my car. I also need to mention that I had maybe 9 other plants at this point. They were also monstrous. Had some more ferns, a foxtail fern, Cleus plant, a lot of plants. And my memory is very shot, and you think I would remember these plants because I had them from years and years and years, but I don't. I just remember having to get rid of Mr. Fitzgerald and how sad that was. I think I had a mint plant too. I think I gave that away to someone. I don't know. That thing was also huge. It was like 4 feet in diameter. I did something very right by it, but I had no idea how to use all the mint. I moved across the United States, had to get rid of all of my plants and half of the things that I had acquired while I was living out there. And that was hard. That was really hard, you know, because you get memories and stuff, but losing Fitzgerald was the hardest. Now I have 3 new plants. None of them have names. I used to name all my plants, but these guys, they don't have names. I've been trying to think of names, but when I look at them, I don't see names like I used to look at plants and see names. For right now, they are nameless. They're doing well. There's this one that's sitting by my desk. He is growing these vines. He's almost 3 feet long on his longest vine, which is fantastic and quite lovely, and he's growing more and more and more. He's really hard to kill, which is really good because I'm very lazy now in my life and I usually forget to water them and I feel bad about it. But yeah, I have this new monster plant and I don't know where to put it. I would love to hang it from the ceiling, but hanging things from the ceiling and studs and cross beams and all of that garbage it gives me a headache. So right now there's just push pins in the wall and the vines are crawling on those and it's working so far, but every single week I slowly see it just kind of becoming a bigger problem and I don't have the heart to trim it. I feel so bad about cutting it back and I shouldn't, but I do, which would explain why Mr. Fitzgerald became 14 feet long, because I just didn't have the heart. I really do love plants. Plants and fish. I really enjoy fish. We'll talk about fish later on. I got a good fish story. But yeah, I have these 3 plants. One of them is a neon pothos, P-O-T-H-O-S. The beastly monster one that's 3 feet long is just a regular pothos. Its nickname is Devil's Ivy. How fitting. And the last one I have, I don't know what it is. I should have written it down or looked it up or whatever. It's doing okay. It's not as abundant as my devil ivy, but he's doing okay. He's maybe like 1.5 feet tall and he kind of looks very tropical. Oh, and I forgot. See, this is how good I am with plants now. I just forget that I have some. I have catnip growing in a pot. It was doing really well outside, but we had to bring it inside because there's cats across the street and there's dogs in this house. Between the cats going crazy over the catnip and the dogs going crazy over the cats, I decided that we could just skip that drama and now it lives in my room with me. But it's not really growing. All the little sprouts are all the same height and I don't know what I can do to make it grow. It's extremely frustrating. But at the same time, I get the feeling that it's going to just explode like the first mint plant that I had. It's just not looking like it's going to. Honestly, if it dies, I wouldn't be sad. That plant really doesn't spark any emotion to me. It might just go its quiet way, but I'm refusing to throw it out until it does definitively die. Because like I said, I don't have the heart just to kill a plant. I can't do that. Anyway, if anybody has any tips on how to grow catnip or has any ideas as to what I should name the other 3 plants that I got around here, that would be greatly appreciated as well, because they do need names and I've had them for 2 years now. It'll help me remember to take care of them more. If anybody's watching, anybody's listening to this, first of all, hi, thank you. It's great to abuse your ear holes and your eye holes. Plop some names down there in the comments if you want. Male names. For some reason, plants to me are always male. I don't know why. I'm going to immediately veto the name Jack. The name Jack will not be happening for personal reasons. So don't offer up the name Jack. Anyway, I need to go because I've talked quite a lot and this old camera is letting me know that it wants to be done soon. So thanks for watching, listening, being. Man, I have a lot of plant stories. I could just talk and talk.